Hi, I'm Krista. Welcome to my channel. This video will be the last video for the Summerween edition this week. It's been a lot of fun using all my witchy and Halloween inspired tarot cards. Today we're doing a What Do the Angels Want You to Know Right Now reading. And as always, I'd like to set the intention of inviting your guides here with me today. Angels and guides, please surround us with your love and light. Please guide us to the information that will help the viewer at this time. And I'd like to thank your guides and my guides for being with us here today. So today there aren't going to be any channel messages. I just wanted to get right into the reading. I'll pull two more cards for clarification. Well, I guess four more cards. Spirit said four cards. And I actually kind of want to take the one on the bottom. These are really cute cards. They're called the Cozy Witch Tarot deck. Okay, with this combination of cards that Spirit has given me right now, I feel like the Five of Pentacles, that for a long time you felt hopeless about a situation. And Pentacles is tied to the physical, so it could be like worries around money, that feeling of lack, of not having enough, a feeling like you're never going to get enough. It could be around a job. I'm hearing that you've been looking for a job for a long time and you're sending out applications. And I think with the ghosts here, it reminds me of this thing called ghost jobs, where you're applying to a company and they have a job listing on their website and you send a resume in and you never hear anything back. And I feel like that's because it's one of those ghost jobs. And a ghost job is when a company lists a job on their website, but they're doing it to make the company look better, to give the illusion that they're hiring when they're not actually hiring. And I feel like there's a lot of that going on right now. And unfortunately, like, you are like a pawn basically to these corporations putting these jobs out. Or you felt that way. I feel like you may have even put out hundreds of resumes out even in one day and you don't hear anything back. And it's not because of anything you did. It's just the way the system is set up right now. But it's very discouraging and it makes you feel hopeless. Like, is this ever going to happen? And that's just like one example that I'm thinking of. And I'm also getting the example of being on a dating site and getting ghosted. And I'm wondering if I'm not familiar with the dating apps, but I'm wondering if there are a lot of bots on the ads, just like fake accounts or like spam accounts or accounts trying to scam people. I imagine that would be a problem because that's a problem on every single part of the internet. So, like, why wouldn't that be a problem? But that may be something that you're running into, and it's also putting you in this position of lack, like feeling lack, like, oh, there's just nothing out there for me. And with the broom card here, the broom 13, that's actually the death card. So, what to me that says is like this period of lack is ending. Like, this is the past energy and this is coming to an end. And this card says tidy up your life so you can make space for something better. And maybe that was happening as you were waiting for something to come in, like whatever you were waiting for or felt like you didn't have. Maybe you've been spending a lot of time like decluttering your space. And a lot of times when we do this, when we get rid of stuff, we're almost letting go of like attachments to things like that those physical things held. And when you get rid of the stuff around you and clear the space, it has a tendency to clear your mind also. By clearing the space, you're allowing for space for new things to come in. And I feel like that's what you have been doing in this waiting period. And I think it's been a slow, like a real slow journey to get where you are. Because, like, the chariot is here, and it's the chariot on a bike, and there's a snail. So, to me, that's saying, like, you're being pulled out of it, but it was a real slog to get there. Like it was like biking through sand. And she kind of even looks like she's biking through sand. And with the Queen of Swords showing up, it says, "Don't you dare lower your voice for anyone." Like when I read that, I also hear, "Don't you dare lower your standards for anyone." Like you know what you are worth, and you know that the opportunity you want is worth waiting for, and not to lower your expectations or just take what's available. Like basically, you're not taking BS from anyone. And in this Queen of Swords, she looks like she started a book club, like she's starting her own community. And I feel that maybe something that you have done too, where you got sick of waiting. So, like, if you got sick of waiting for a job that was the right fit, that maybe you just started up your own enterprise. Or if you got sick of trying to find someone on a dating app, you you started community, like started up a club and brought community to you and filled your life with meaningful relationships that way. And the swords are about the mind, and I feel you were able to make these changes in process through like this death card and like the decluttering of your mind, also the changing of your thoughts to put things in a new perspective. And this chariot says you'll never get anywhere if you keep standing still. And I felt like you felt like you were standing still, like you felt like you were in mud and you couldn't move, and you just decided that enough was enough and that you were going to take the initiative on your own. Like you weren't going to wait for somebody to give you something. You were just going to go out there and do it for yourself. And that's reflected here in the Eight of Pentacles. It says, "Sorry, but fairies aren't going to come do all the work for you." And I don't think you wanted fairies to come, quote unquote, fairies to come and do the work for you. I feel that maybe you felt things were unfair, that maybe your guides weren't helping you, but it's not that your guides weren't helping you, it's that they wanted you to do this on your own. It's that like tough love approach. I'm seeing like a diamond in my head and how a diamond is crushed, or how like carbon is crushed to make a diamond, like the pressure creates this beautiful diamond. And I feel that that is what you had to go through. That you had to have all these challenges and pressures put on you to show you that you were this beautiful diamond. And I'm hearing in my head, like, that's so unfair. That's so unfair. Why do I have to be carbon turned into a diamond? Why can't I just be the diamond? I know. I know. I get it. And spirit just says like that's how we learn. Now you have this irreplaceable self-worth and confidence that you have built on your own. Like you have found it within yourself. And I feel like you're, with the Eight of Pentacles here, you're mastering that. Like that is a skill set you will now have for any other challenge in life. Like you're going to make the most of things. And that's like, even if she is biking through sand still, she has these beautiful flowers all over her bike. Like there's joy present in her journey. Like these two people, they're both on a journey. They're both moving, but they have two different perspectives. And I feel like the perspective shift is what is making the difference and is what is opening opportunities up to you because you've made this change. And I want to call it a test, but Spirit's like it wasn't a test. It was just, it is what it is. That's what they're saying. It is what it is. And I'm like, it was a test. And they're like, no, it wasn't. It's just, it's life. It is what it is. Also, I'm hearing snails may be like a spirit animal for someone. And also the sunflowers in the last reading, or in the first reading from the Summerween series, sunflowers was a really big part of it. And I talked about the symbolism of sunflowers and how they mean joy. And I feel like that applies here too, because it's like you found your joy through this process. because you created it for yourself. Like she created this book club for herself, and now she is working on these really cute little fairy houses, and she's like riding a bike. And I feel like that's because that's this is like symbolizing the journey that you've been on. And spirit is saying you found yourself through this process. And I'm hearing that what you wanted at the beginning of this journey is no longer what you want at the end of this journey. And that was part of why it wasn't coming in, because it just wasn't aligned to you. Like you had to get in this position of power for the things that you deserve to come to you. Because when you were in this position of lack, it's almost like your dreams weren't big enough. Like God was saying, I have so much more planned for you. Like you have to aim higher than what you're aiming. Like go bigger. Also, this card here is making me think of there's a ritual that you can do. You at the beginning of the month, you blow cinnamon through your threshold, and it's supposed to invite in abundance. And I feel like you've been doing that type of ritual by the process of going through this journey. Like going through this journey of empowerment and like finding yourself and finding what you like. That was like your own version of blowing cinnamon through the threshold. I almost feel like you got to a breaking point and you were just like, I am so done with any of this BS. And at that point, it was like a complete change in attitude. And you just took over making changes in your life. And you decided that you weren't going to live in this lack anymore. It's funny because that's what we were just talking about finding your worth. And the colors like in these two cards match. And pink is about self-love. Like pink is the color of self-love, like rose quartz it's self-love or love. And I feel like you did a lot of soul searching to realize that you were worthy of love. Like you may have been in that lack mentality where you didn't think you were worthy of love. And you started seeing yourself just partially as God sees you. You just saw some of the love that God sees when He sees you. It makes me think of that verse in the Bible with faith as big as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And I feel like that's the same with love. Like, with just a little bit of self love, you can change your life. You can move that mountain. And it's only up from here because you'll just continue to learn to love yourself and to truly value yourself. Be the bigger person and get out of your own way. I feel the jade be the bigger person. Why that's showing up right now is it's saying when you got those rejections, when you got ghosted, when these things were happening to you, over time you learned not to take it personally. And understandably, I feel like those first, I don't know, I guess like rejections or even like if you maybe you wrote a book and you like sent it out to somebody and they rejected that book, like whatever you're working on or whatever the situation is, you wanted to date someone and they didn't want to date you back, or like there's so many examples. Like I've been through so many rejections of my own, and at first they hurt. It's almost like a loss, and you blame yourself. Like immediately you blame yourself. Like, well, obviously it's my fault. Like I didn't get this thing because they didn't like me. I wasn't good enough. Spirits reminded me of this time where, not to go into the long story, but something happened and I felt that that it was my fault that it happened. And like immediately I was like, oh, it's because of me. And Spirit was like, get over yourself. Basically, like not everything is about you. In fact, most things are not about you. Like it's almost narcissistic or like egoic to just assume everything is about us. And then Spirit listed about 10 other reasons to me that this thing happened that had absolutely nothing to do with me, and how I needed to change my perspective, and how really we're all like that. Like we're all, it's not even about you, because the other person that you think is blaming you or doing something to you, they're not even thinking about you because they're thinking the same thing about themselves. So it really was this just shift in perception. Like just a small example, like say you're in traffic and you're at a red light, and the second it turns green, the person behind you like lays on their horn, like before you even get a chance to just like move your foot to the gas pedal to go. Like they're already raging, and you think, what's their problem? Like what did I do to them? You immediately kind of, you get upset with them, but you also get like irrationally upset with yourself. You're just like, what did I do? And in that moment, it's not about you. It's their issue. It's something that's going on with them. Like maybe they just got in a fight with somebody, or maybe they just got really bad news, or maybe they found out like a family member is in the hospital and they're panicking and they're trying to get there as fast as possible. Like that's the thing. There's so many other reasons, and we shouldn't take things personally all the time. And that was like a big lesson I know I had to learn. And I feel like that is something that you have learned, and that's why the get out of your own way card is here. And that may not be the exact lesson you learned. That there's just like an example through, like I said, through this process there was something that you learned, and you got out of your own way and like found yourself on the other side of this journey. I'm feeling called to read the guidebook on this one. The path is clear to your success. All you need is to claim it. You are the sole owner and operator of your personal journey. Yeah, that's like what Spirit was saying earlier, how they wanted you to be the one to make the changes. Like it was really important for you to be the one to do this for yourself, to find that empowerment within you. Shed any thoughts of self doubt, which can lead to derailment. You are entitled to live your best life. Don't relinquish your power by giving in to negative thoughts or trying to avoid or deflect responsibility. Confront any obstacles that emerge and consciously seek out solutions. Success is yours. Take control, take ownership, and take heart, and you will take command of your own destiny. It says, affirmation: I get out of my own way, allowing my success to come to me. And I feel like you've already been doing that. And if you haven't, you're going to start. Breakthrough. Wow. For a star to be born, it must first collapse. This is not destruction, this is your birth. Wow. Yeah, like with the death card here, like this is not your death, it's your rebirth. Like you did this for yourself. And I feel like the reward is going to be that much sweeter. Like it wasn't just given to you, like you earned it. You did all this work and you've earned it. And I just want to say, like the 8 of Pentacles here, that's the 8. Like you're so close to the 10. You're so close to the 9, 10 of Pentacles. You're at the very end of this. And like it says, get out of your own way. Just keep going. Push through all the obstacles. Turn these over. Breathe. Inhale stardust, exhale magic. You're in the process of recognizing your own magic. Wow, and there it is. New beginnings. From chaos comes calm. Yeah, Spirit is like validating this, from the death card, the end of a cycle, into a new beginning. Like, and you're almost there. Like, if it hasn't started for you, this is a Summerween reading, so this energy is from July up into fall. So maybe from now until fall, like that's when things are really gonna get going. And if you're watching this video after July, I would say the timing on this would be about 3 months from when you're watching it. Not even. Wondering, should we pull one more card? Oh, I feel like we should pull from the tarot. Ooh. Oh, it's on fire. Okay, well, these two came out. Justice. Stick to your truth and everything will turn out just fine. And the High Priestess. When in doubt, your first gut feeling can always be trusted. I feel like the Justice card is saying, you've earned this. Like the scales are going to be tilted in your favor. The High Priestess Spirit is saying, your advice, like through this period, until you get to that 10 of Pentacles, is to trust your intuition. I feel like you'll know when something is right for you. Like you'll just feel it. Your intuition will tell you. And I think your spirit guides will also send you signs. They may even send you snails. Like just to let you know. Like maybe you have like an animal that you see all the time. Or maybe your pets, there's like a cat and a dog here. Maybe your pets will be around you more. Like maybe they'll be like extra clingy and cuddly or something. And the other thing that's coming to me is this could also signify that the thing you want is at home. Like maybe that job you were looking for, you're working from home now because she's in her pajamas. Well, they're like both in their comfortable clothes at home. Like maybe you're doing some type of divination work at home. And now you get to like spend all day with your animals. You don't have to leave to go to work. Like this is the cape and the hat that she wears to go out, and it's hung up because she's comfortable at home. And I don't know if that is working for yourself or finding an actual job, like finding a job where you work from home. And I feel that's ideal also because just a totally random thing. I feel like the gas prices are going to get higher. And being at home and not having to drive into work every day is going to be a huge benefit financially, to not have to spend all that money on gas. Spirit, is there anything else we need to know? Good luck charm. If nothing seems to be going your way, cast a spell. It's interesting because it's right on top of this card. which was the card that reminded me to blow cinnamon through the threshold. So maybe you are into divination or even like witchy rituals, and that is something you can do to bring this into you because it's sending that energy out. Like you're setting the intention and manifesting and like calling it out by doing stuff like that. And the 10 in tarot is also the wheel. You know, it's about the cycle turning, like new beginnings again. So I feel like that is spirit's guidance for you in this reading is to listen to your intuition and like listen to your intuition and call in what you want. You're the one that's turning the wheel. And spirit is showing me the wheel from Price is Right. Yeah, Price is Right. They're showing me. It's almost like they're saying you're in the showcase showdown. Like you've made it that far. You're gonna make it to you're gonna make it to the showcase. You're gonna spin the wheel. You're the one powering the wheel, and you're gonna get $1, and you're gonna go to the showcase showdown. That's how they're like showing it to me. And also, it's 10. It's the end of the cycle. You went from 5 to 10. And there's that pink again. And I really feel like that represents all the work you've done. Like all the work you've done with self care and self love and realizing your worth. Well, I think I'm going to call it here. I am so excited for you for like this new beginning, and I would love to hear about it. I would love to know if this resonated with anyone. I'd love to hear your story. So, yeah, if you have anything you want to share, I would absolutely love to hear about it down in the comments. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope this reading has brought you clarity, and if you made it this far, comment a star so I can personally thank you. Until I meet with you in the next reading, I'm wishing you a wonderful and blessed day. Bye.